Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and today we'll be reading How I Quit Binging, a guide for those who struggle. Just a disclaimer, if you do have a real problem with binging, I'd encourage you to see a professional if you think it's a real problem. Also, our merch store is now live. Be sure to check it out in the description below. Thank you so much to everyone who's ordered so far and supported the channel. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more weight loss videos that help you stay on track. How I quit binging. I used to binge 3 times a week and in excess of 3,000 calories or more. Food had an incredible amount of power over me. I was scared to go places because I was worried I would binge. I won't go over how it got to that place, but I'll tell you how I got out and now have the healthiest relationship with food that I've ever had. Step 1. Understanding. A reading list. Hey Narwhals, I've listed all these books in the description below. The 4 books listed above are what gave me a good understanding of what binge urges really were and what was causing my binge urges. Insight 1. All binges are caused by the urge to binge. You only binge to cope with the urge to binge and get the subsequent anxiety/anticipatory relief from the craving. This is explained best by Katherine Hansen, although she is really taking Jack Trimpey's concept in RR and applying it to binging. There is no greater meaning to your binges. Thinking otherwise will actually validate your binges and make it harder to stop. Many things may trigger an urge, but the actual binge itself is always caused by the thought along the lines of, hey, let's binge right now. Everyone gets stressed, bored, angry, etc., but not everyone binges because they don't get the urge in the first place because they never developed that habit. Insight 2. The urge to binge is not you and comes from a different part of your brain that has no access to your voluntary muscles. This explains your ambivalence towards binging. Part of you really wants to stop. Why else would you be reading a post called How to Stop Binging? But part of you feels like it wants to binge. The part of you that wants to stop is the real you, and the part that says binge can be dismissed. Insight 3. You have total control over your voluntary movements, and nothing, no thought, feeling, or sensation can make you binge. Again, going back to all binges are caused by the urge to binge. Let's do a thinking exercise. Think about shaving your head right now. Really think about it and try to let that thought move your hands. No matter how much you try to convince yourself to shave your head, your hands probably haven't moved an inch because you actually don't want to shave your head. And you actually don't want to binge either, but you get tricked into thinking you do by thinking that thoughts that encourage binging have meaning or significance. If you can accept with 100% commitment that you never want to binge and that all thoughts, feelings, and sensations telling you to binge are garbage, things will become a lot easier. Accept that you have total control. Nothing can make you binge, especially not mere thoughts. You are not powerless. Insight 4. Binging is nothing more than a really bad habit. How your binge eating habit started doesn't matter because now it is wired into your brain. Your cravings to binge are just generated neurological impulses to carry out a habit in the same way that your urge to brush your teeth at night is from the same process. There is no greater meaning to your binges. Recognizing the cue for the habit, binging, and the reward, relief from the craving, can give you the space you need to stop immediately acting on the habit. Again, all of this makes a lot more sense if you read the books. Step 2. Putting new beliefs into practice. My pivotal moment was doing the crash course in addictive voice recognition technique, AVRT, on Jack Trimpey's website. Mentally replace alcohol and drugs with binging when you read through it. That was the thing that did it, that empowered me to fully stop binging. I had the power to stop all along. Using Katherine Hansen's advice and Brain Over Binge, I dismissed all thoughts that encourage binging. Before, a thought about binging would make me wildly upset. I'd get in a frenzy, panic and get angry, sad, annoyed, cave, and binge. Now, I hear these thoughts with detachment. They can't make me do anything. And once you stop binging and acting out on these thoughts, the cravings and urges diminish over time. Step 3. Getting back to normal eating. 1. Neutralize food. The single greatest thing you can do for your mental and physical well-being, after you stop binging of course, is to not let food have so much power over you. Stop treating food like a drug, a medicine, like this great unstoppable force, like your reason for living. It's just a donut. You can eat it and the universe will not explode. You can also not eat it and likewise you'll be fine. The importance and power you give to food creates stress and causes you to obsess over it. Should I eat it or shouldn't I? Over and over and over, debating in your head as if your decision will cause World War III. It's not that high stakes, seriously. No other inanimate object likely causes you this much stress. Think of food in the same way, i.e. neutrally. 2. Neutralize food obsession. Normal people are not thinking about food all day outside of their meals. They get hungry, but they don't treat hunger as an emergency. It's just a sensation that doesn't need to be immediately satisfied. If you find yourself anxiously waiting for your next meal or obsessing and fantasizing about food, 1. Don't judge those thoughts. 2. Accept that they are there and don't try to get rid of them. And 3. Don't get so wrapped up in them. This is basically mindfulness meditation 101, by the way. These thoughts are no different than thoughts about binging. Neutralizing these thoughts and not letting them have power over you will allow you to move on and get back to what you were doing. 3. Eating normally. My eating plan now is very simple. 2 to 3 meals a day, no snacks. Generally, I try to eat when hungry, stop when I'm full, which sounds simple, but it used to feel impossible to do. But whenever I feel those crazed, frenzy thoughts saying, eat, 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 that encourage me to act impulsively around food, I take a step back and think, bruh, it's just food. I relax basically, and don't listen to those thoughts. Now, for those of you with more complex eating issues, this is where Dr. Livingstone's Never Binge Again comes in. He used to be obese and used the philosophy along Jack Trimsey's Rational Recovery to solve his bad food habits. EatLikeANormalPerson.com is also a good website for a simple eating plan. She also had binging problems for years and was obese, but overcame her food issues. 4. This one is sort of an aside, but don't food-gasm. You know when you're eating something really tasty, or you're eating when you're super hungry and you're thinking, oh my friggin' god, this is so good, and you're like in complete ecstasy? Stop doing that. You're treating food like a drug. Be grateful for food, find pleasure in food, and see it as an enjoyable activity, but for God's sake, don't food-gasm. #neutralize food. Finally, as a closing note, I'd like to say that all these things are skills that you can develop. Having the right mindset, believing that you can't stop, that you never want to binge again, that you have 100% power over your voluntary movements, etc., will be a huge asset in your journey. P.S. All the books listed can be found online for free, except for Jack Trimsey's book, but he does offer a free course on his website. I am so glad that you've been able to overcome. The issue for many of us is that the concept of why we binge and what to tell yourself to stop is so easy to understand, but putting those into practice is so hard. I had a very good couple weeks where I told myself I couldn't eat simply because I was bored. I was in mental anguish the entire time, obsessing over the clock and when an appropriate mealtime would be. This was an equally unhealthy mindset to be in, and that's where I struggle. I felt like I was torturing myself. I did start to feel better, but then I broke, and thus the process begins again. And it's all so ridiculous. How do other people not think and obsess about food all day? My husband can literally get to the end of the day and realize he hasn't eaten anything all day. It's an addiction and a coping mechanism all wrapped up into one, and the crappy part is that you have to eat. Well, that felt good. I have no one in my life to talk about this with who understands. Totally understand. I'm super jealous of the people who don't constantly think about food. I can be distracted from thoughts of food with a good game, TV show, or book, but only for so long. It's like a nightmare sometimes. One thing that helped me was to focus not only on not doing something, snacking, binging, etc., but to do something. Drinking a goal amount of water, roasting millions of veggies, meal prepping, working out is an awesome one because it can get you high, skincare, Reddit, etc. It's kind of distraction from an addiction by developing a virtuous addiction/habit. Anyhow, the work of changing habits is so frigging hard. Hang in there. I've spent the last month with my long-distance boyfriend who is super into health and fitness. We ate healthy for a month, and the whole time I was just craving chips, my weakness. I told myself the minute he left, I would go out and buy a ton of chips. 1, because I'd be sad he left, and 2, I had been craving it forever. Well, he left 2 days ago. I didn't buy chips, but I hesitantly ate an entire medium Domino's pizza because I didn't feel like cooking. I just had lunch and was about to go to the store to buy chips to eat later, but this post has changed my mind. I have to stop obsessing over food 24/7 and acting like it's the most important thing in my life. I've been going to the gym and lifting weights, and I'm really trying to make that habit give me the joy and satisfaction that binging gives me. Thank you for this post. And that brings us to our featured narwhals of the day. If you'd like to be a featured narwhal, just head on over to our subreddit at r/losingnarwhals. Link is in the description below. Our first featured narwhal is Seb's Journey, and they say 4 months progress. Our next featured narwhal of the day is Tide, and they say, finally hit my target, lost 113 pounds in total. And our last featured narwhal of the day is Clayto, and they say, this hoodie used to fit me, triple XL, 235 pounds. Now I'm down to a large size hoodie, 195 pounds. My goal weight is 180, so I have a bit more to go. Thank you so much for sharing, narwhals. Once again, our merch is now live. You'll find the link to the merch in the description below. Thank you so much to everyone who's ordered some merch so far. Be sure to like and subscribe for more weight loss videos that help you stay on track. Thanks for watching, narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.